2014, the alternative housing market was estimated to be $65 billion. In 2018, it's expected to be $106 billion. So when we talk about a debate of whether you should go with something that's vetted and compliant and something that is kind of out in the ether, I think it becomes a very one-sided conversation.
We used to use service departments a lot more in the past. I think it's old school, sorry. No. But more and more companies nowadays, I think, are getting away from these types of things like service departments. You can find an Airbnb or a, similar type of arrangement for sometimes even half the price.
How many of us have a travel department that's okay with us taking Uber?
From an Uber perspective, it's actually safer, in my opinion, than a taxi. I'm getting a screenshot that I can send to someone of that driver. They know what I'm in. I can actually, from Uber for Business, I can track my traveler.
2020, 60% of the workforce is going to be a millennial. Guess what the other 40 is going to be? It's going to be baby boomers, right? We know that big generational gap that's going to occur in 3 years. 2020 is 3 years away, friends. I think you need to start thinking about how do we expand language and culture well beyond just foreign culture. It's also the culture of just humans, culture of different sections of the United States.
So to that point, from at least my company, the company I work for, we did struggle with getting the business to really have a buy-in as to why the cultural aspect was important, and we are domestic only. To the business, it's the dollars that make the sense to them, and we had to talk about how doing a training like this would impact the retention. And at the end of the day, let's be honest, if D&I, diversity and inclusion, is not important to your company, this topic is going to be a consistent uphill battle.
We too had the same challenge at my company, and we went to a different method of delivery. So instead of the in-person, because of the busyness, etc., we went to an online option, which allows the family to get involved in that I'm talking cultural training.
Yep.
And so it's a very short money for a couple $100. You can get the family cultural training, and we found real value with that. And I don't think any business person can argue, one, the relevance, and two, the expense of a couple $100.
Right.
And so that's how we won the argument on the cultural training.
You'll also notice when you look at all the online language training that's out there, there's Duolingo, which is very gamified, but you'll notice something. Almost every single one of those is also starting to mate culture with language, because you can't have one without the other. That's just the reality.